We have set up our Elasticsearch server with a small number of documents in our previous video. Now let's see how we can find these documents. To know the total number of documents in an index, we use the _count API. By using the _count endpoint on the movies index, we can find out how many documents are stored there. Run this request in Kibana to get the total number of documents in the movies index. The response will show the count of documents. The count variable in the response tells us the total number of documents in the movies index. We can also use this API to get the document count from multiple indices at once by listing them with commas, like this: get movies1, movies2/_count. If we run this query now, it will give an index not found exception because the movies1 and movies2 indices do not exist. We can also get the total number of documents in all indices by using get_count. This will include all documents, even those in system and hidden indices. Every document in Elasticsearch has a unique ID called the document ID. Just like getting a record from a database using a primary key, getting a document from Elasticsearch is easy if we have the document's ID. We do this by running a GET request in the Kibana console with the API URL and document ID. If the command works, we will see a response on the right side of the code editor. The response has two parts: the original document under the _source tag and the document's metadata, like index, ID, found, version, etc. If we only want the original document without the metadata, we can change the _doc endpoint to _source and run the query again. In the request endpoint, we are asking Elasticsearch to get the document with ID1 from the movies index. Since the document with ID1 exists in the movies index, Elasticsearch will fetch it and return the document information in the response. When we need to fetch documents using multiple IDs, we can use an IDs query in Elasticsearch. This method is straightforward and allows us to fetch multiple documents at once by providing their IDs. The IDs query retrieves documents based on their IDs. Unlike other queries that use document APIs, the IDs query uses the search API _search endpoint. For example, to fetch documents with IDs 1, 2, and 3 from the movies index, we will execute the following query in Kibana. The query object contains an inner object named IDs, where the document IDs are listed in an array. The response indicates the successful hits, that is, results returning the 3 documents with those IDs. You can suppress the source data in the response by setting the _source flag to false. Using an IDs query to retrieve a large number of documents, for example, fetching 1,000 documents with 1,000 IDs, can be cumbersome. Fortunately, Elasticsearch offers other search features for such cases, which will be covered in upcoming videos. Elasticsearch provides a domain-specific language, DSL, for writing queries, commonly called Query DSL. It is a simple JSON-based query writing language, extensively used to write queries. We can use the search endpoint to get all documents in an index. For example, to retrieve all documents in the movies index, we can use the following query. This URL doesn't need a request body. When you search for all records, you don't need to attach anything extra to the query. The response will return all the documents in the movies index as expected. The query getMovies/_search is a shorthand for a special query called match_. Normally, a request body is added to the URL with a query clause. When we leave out the query body while using the _search endpoint, Elasticsearch understands it as a match_all query, which means match everything. Thank you for watching this tutorial on how to retrieve index documents in Elasticsearch. I hope you found the information useful and that it helps you in your projects.